Well, guys, we are going to get started because we have had Laura, my friend, Laura Kennedy, Presidential Diamond Leader. She volunteered to talk to us about what's going well for her and for her team. And I was really excited. Like, it was very refreshing to hear that we keep hearing over and over again from Cami Pentecost, from Pam Souter, from a few of the other leaders that we need to get back to the basics as far as talking to people face to face and handing out our business card or our Blitz card and talking to people, in public, and then getting them on our Facebook or scheduling a party. And so when I was having this conversation with Laura yesterday, she's like, I'll talk to your team. And I was like, seriously, for reals? And I love that our team, like our company, is seriously one team, one mission, that we are all here to help one another. Like, it's so unique and it's so refreshing that she doesn't make a dime off of our team, but we have this friendship and we're willing to help one another. So, Laura, I'll let you have the floor and you can take 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you want to take, and go for it. Thank you.
Yeah. So I've said this so many times over the past, probably year. I think one of my distributors called me out on it, but I kept saying, we need to go back to doing parties. We need to go back to wrapping people. We need to go back to blitzing and doing events. And I had never really done it. I had just stayed majority social media. And so I was just in this place where I just really felt like I needed to step forward and start that. And so I kind of hesitated, with my own team, because they only know power hours every day. I mean, we were just rocking power hours and doing all of these things and weekly parties and, more than weekly, 2 times a week. And it just was this craziness of online stuff. And so I kind of felt like we had a fairly good amount of team members quit all right in a row because they felt overwhelmed, right? They felt really overwhelmed with all of that stuff. And so I decided to go ahead and, in a sense, do me type of thing. I was I'm just going to do my thing, and those who want to follow and come behind can follow and come behind. So my husband and I had a talk with them. We did a live in our team page, and I talked about the beginning of my business, because I built probably, I would say to triple, definitely, on parties and expos and stuff like that, and to presidential, I started getting a little bit more into social media, but I was still doing bridal expos. But once I hit presidential, I stopped. I hadn't done any of that stuff the whole time. And so we went live and we just talked about the benefits of doing expos, of doing parties and stuff like that, which I can go over if y'all need me to, and just the benefits of doing that. And for no other reason, just to grab anybody who thought that they wanted to try something different, right? Because I have some social media superstars on my team, and they're loving that. And that was not necessarily for them. It was if they wanted to pick up on that, and if they wanted to try it, which some of them ended up doing, but it wasn't to change the way that they built their business, because whatever they were doing was working for them. And so after we went live in our team page and did that, we had so many people that were like, yes, this sounds like me. I'm looking for something new. I need to change what I'm doing. This isn't working. I really think I would love working events and stuff like that. But the thing that stopped them from doing that on their own was just because they were not knowledgeable about it, because they hadn't done it before. So, buddy, can you go upstairs, please? Thank you. Or go in my room, that's fine. So I had already made a video that kind of laid out how I got events, how I set them up when you don't have a lot of money, and kind of how I do all of that stuff. And so we just kind of started sending people back to that. And they just started finding them and signing up for these events. And I had already gotten in Austin, I'm from Austin, Texas. I had already gotten a bridal expo, but I had another girl that signed up for the Houston Bridal Showcase, which is an event we used to do and had stopped doing. And so she signed up for that, and that went really well. And then we were doing all these little events. Like I just did a high school car show that was for project graduation for them. And that was a lot of fun. And so the people who started kind of doing these things realized that they were doing these events, and at these events, they are getting, like, the point is to get lead cards. The point is not necessarily to sign every person that comes to the table as a loyal customer, but they're filling out these lead cards. And then when you go back and look at these lead cards, you're like, oh my gosh, this person said they want to party. Oh my gosh, this person said they want to tighten, tone, and firm. You know, and you're just like, okay, these are people that are asking for this product. And so you reach back out to them, and they started getting parties from them. And so it was really cool. I mean, I kind of just wanted to be like, duh, like, why did I stop? You know, because sitting at home sounds so much better. But to be honest, like, it's so much fun to do events with our team. Like, we are not shy. If there's alcohol at an event, we will totally have a drink. And we just, like, hang out with each other and talk to people, and people come up to the table, and they want to hear what you have to say. They're not saying no. If they want to say no, they're going to walk by your table, but they're coming up to your table, and they want to know what you've got going on. And so it's so refreshing, you guys. It's like breathing fresh air. And so we're doing these events. And so I just did last weekend, I did the car show on Saturday, and then we did the Blitz thing, and then we met with teams. So that was a long It Works day. And then on Sunday, we was the Houston Bridal Expo. And so I drove and did that with that girl and her boyfriend. And when I got home, like, I sat my butt down and I did not do a thing for my business. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I'm done. I worked really hard today, and I have a bunch of leads, and this is what my focus is. My focus is to contact these people and work on these leads. You know what I mean? Not to say that other days that I wouldn't, like, do that, but I just had a really full weekend and needed some downtime. So I guess from there, what do you want me? Because I could talk. Yeah. I mean, I could talk for like another 45 minutes about.
No, that's cool. I have a couple questions for
you.
So, can you, like, for the brand new new distributors or people new to events, can you explain what events look like to you? Like, all the different types of events.
Yeah.
And so I have a number of questions. Like, can you do it when you're brand new with no money and no, maybe a little less knowledge of all of our stuff?
Okay.
What do events look like? And then we'll go from there.
Okay. So I actually, the way that Laura in 2011 would do an event, and it would be those plastic green, like, tablecloths that you can get at Walmart, and it would be whatever I had. So, like, whatever came in my kit. So wraps or those product guides. We had product guides, and Blitz cards, and I think maybe greens. And that was all I had. Like, I didn't have a big setup. We would just throw that stuff on a table. I didn't even have banners at that time. I couldn't afford them. And you would not believe how many people still came up. Now, that was in 2011, so our company is a little bit bigger now. But I 100% have seen my team, like, do these events, and they take pictures, and they're so proud of their table, and it's just like, it's like a table, and they put whatever they had on the table, and they're like, I did this, you know what I mean? And you know, their Blitz cards are written on. They don't even have money for labels or anything like that, and they get people coming up to their table. There are people who have not heard of It Works or have not heard of the body wraps. And so they're still getting stuff. Now, I like to decorate my table according to, like, holiday theme, I guess. I try not to make it like black, green, and bling, like it works in your face. And so I go to Target. So I actually hadn't done, I have like some fall, Christmas stuff, but I hadn't done a spring, summer type event. And so I went to Target the night before, dollar section, and grabbed stuff to make a little giveaway basket, which honestly I still have. Let me go grab it real quick. So I have this, and this was $1, and I already had these stickers. This was, I think, like $3 in the Target dollar section. These coasters were $1, and then this has keto coffee in it. And I had a bottle of Thermophyte, so I just threw it in there. But our giveaway used to just be a wrap, honestly. I did that bridal expo, and she had never done an event before, and I really tried not to stress her out by being like, you should do this and you should do that. It's kind of like a learn on your own type of thing. And so she was giving away a triple threat. She was giving away Fat Fighters, Thermophyte, and greens. And so it's so funny because I got there late because my car overheated. And so I had to deal with that. So I ended up getting there, and I'm like talking to a person, and I'm like, hey, yeah, and what's the giveaway? And she's like, triple threat. And I was like, whoa, okay, you can get $100 worth of products. Like, this is crazy. But a lot of people were interested in the wrap. It was super crazy. So I had my before and after pictures, and that was another thing. I lost touch with what people already know about, because it had been so long since I had worked events that I think I assumed that in that time I wasn't, that everybody knew about it. And I worked the same bridal expo I had worked 3 years ago multiple times, and it was the same. It was people looking at the banner and like seeing the wrap on. We have like a little mannequin, and she had a dried out wrap on it, and asking about the body wrap. So she could have gotten away with just giving away a body wrap and having just as much, gotten just as many leads. And so I was showing my picture again, my wrap picture, and showing and talking to people about how you do it. And I remember that's all I did to get to presidential was like repeat how you wrap and how you whatever, like over and over and over and over. So anyway, tables now, like, yeah, I try to just make them like holiday themed or season themed. And so I just bought, this looks very like, I was doing coffee, so it's hard to make coffee look like summer, but I tried. And I had a little like pineapple dish that was $1 that I put keto coffee samples in and stuff like that. And so you just throw on the table what you can throw on the table, and slowly but surely, if events are your thing, you'll start to buy stuff for your table. You'll start to figure out what you need. You know what I mean? But yeah, you can definitely do them, and you can get them for cheap too. So like the bridal expos are more expensive because a lot more people come through, but the like little car show thing was $50, but I've done events. We're actually doing a free one. One of my girls said, hey, I got us into that free event. And so it's free. And then there's like $25, $35 events. So sorry. See what I mean? I get so excited about it.
No, it's fine. So yeah, that's what I wanted. So for me, I also did events all the way up until I think about Triple Diamond, and I did parties. And so I think getting back to the basics of hosting a demo at your house, hosting an online demo, or just the way that we can talk to people face to face is just an added avenue for how we run our business. And some people only do social media. Some people only do face-to-face. Some people only do like, when I say face-to-face, like through events and parties and whatever, and other people do it just from association, so all these different people have different ways of doing it. And I really wanted to share that when something's working well, keep doing what's working well, but also try something else to see how that works. But don't stop what you're doing that's well, but just add on to see if it enhances what you're doing.
as a leader, I was just going to say, like, don't not introduce that to your team, because I had team members who previously were really struggling with social media and doing all of those things, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And once she signed up for her first event and did an event, I mean, she was hooked on events, and and you can set up, that's the other thing, you can set up tables anywhere. So that's no cost. I mean, you can go into any business and set up a table, or drop off a lead box. And so, and that's all free. And so, she got really into that and has been blowing like her business out of the water. And so, like, even if there's any leaders on here, like, as a leader, don't not introduce that. Like, those people who want to do social media will stick to social media. But those people who might be struggling, that you think, well, they're just not doing the things. Well, it's because they're not built that way. You know what I mean? Like, they're built to be in front of people. And they may not know that, because when I signed up, I didn't want to do parties or events. That was not like, I wasn't like, oh, I can't wait. It's kind of, that's what we were doing at the time. And so I had to do it. But what I realized over time is that I much prefer that over being here and trying to juggle my kids and this stupid dog that won't stop barking of mine, and my husband, you know, and work my business at the same time, when I could just live back home, you know.
Okay, so there's several. Some of these expos can be pricey. They can. I would rather you not go into debt over these and start out small. I would rather you try to find the summertime and the springtime. They start to come out with health fairs, boutiques have tables, your local rec centers. Oh goodness, I'm drawing blanks of what they call it, but where I was from, they had rec centers that had health fairs, and it was $25 to set up a table. Like, they had vendors, and they won't allow more than one It Works vendor or one LipSense vendor. And so for $25, I was there for 6 hours, and all I did was have a glass jar for Enter to Win. And in our team page, we have entry tickets, entry forms. But Laura, I'm wanting to see what yours look like. And so if you want to send me what yours look like, it sounded.
I will. I actually had a team member who's really awesome who redid them.
Oh.
The old ones, but she redid it to include like keto and stuff like that, because mine were like from a long time ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, keep going.
Okay. And so all I had was this glass jar that people would enter to win. I had a picture frame that I got from the dollar store that I printed up from home, used my printer that said, enter to win free product. And then I put it in a frame. And then I had some green samples. I had a little cooler with some water bottles, and I would put when the samples were running low, I would then make another water bottle with greens, and I'd be shaking it up, and I'd pour it into the little tiny Dixie cups, and people would be walking up, and I'd say, hey, would you like to have a free sample of your 30 fruits and veggies? And they're like, what? And no banners, no decor. I had a black sheet from Walmart, a black twin sheet. It was like $44.88. And I just started giving out samples. And I'm like, hey, while you're trying a sample, would you like to enter to win some free product? People were entering. And then I would call those people back and say, hey, I'm just calling you back. Everyone was a winner. I'm just telling you, everyone was a winner. And I would either give away like a week's worth of greens with a water bottle, or I would give a free wrap if they had a few friends over to do a demo, a wrap party. And that's actually where I signed a lot of customers and several distributors, was from this $25 health fair. It was incredible. And so the events don't have to be big, but it can also start in your home as a demo, as a sip and sample. And so let's see, Catherine is saying, so how do you do that? How do you set up a table for free in a business? What conversation would you have? Or, a lead box. And I've seen it all over the place. I've seen it in like Jiffy Lube, where there's a lead box for It Works. So what would you say about that, Laura?
So you can you can approach it like a customer appreciation. So like apartment complexes and stuff like that was something that we used to do back in the day. And you just go in and say, hey, do you guys have a resident appreciation day? Or is there any way that I can set up a table and hand out free samples? And it's so much easier to sample things now than it was back in the day. I didn't even make greens because like all we had was like the tub, and I don't know, we just didn't even sample greens actually, now that I think about it. But now it's a lot easier to sample things, and that's kind of what we do a lot more at these events. And so, yeah, going in, my mom told me there's an It Works distributor who sets up at the YMCA. She goes to the Y. And so you can go into any business and say, hey, do you mind if I do a customer appreciation booth and just hand out samples to your customers or something like that? You know what I mean? And just ask them about that. And yeah, and so that's how you would do something for free. And that can be in any business like that. Like, it doesn't matter. I've set up booths at hairstylists before, or salons, whatever they're called. And I'm trying to think of like other places. I've set up booths in random places. I remember one time I thought about setting up a booth like in our neighborhood somewhere. But anyway, and then the other thing I was going to say is lead boxes. For those of you who don't, maybe you're like, what are you talking about? You can make your own lead boxes. I'm sure that there's a YouTube tutorial. You can also purchase lead boxes. I don't think they're that expensive because it's just cardboard. And you just kind of fold it and put it together. But lead boxes are really great, or even just leaving a stack of Blitz cards, asking if you can leave a stack of Blitz cards somewhere, are a great way to get leads and without you having to be there. Yes, Shelby, that reminds me, tanning salons. I left a stack of Blitz cards at a tanning salon once, and I will never forget, I got a loyal and a distributor I got a very loyal. She's been my loyal for years now. And a distributor, her sister, who ended up quitting, but whatever, from leaving Blitz cards at a tanning salon. And so this is totally going into like blitzing, but you can leave cards at these places also if you're really shy about like blitzing. Go into like businesses like in a strip mall and tell them that you just want to drop off coupons for their employees. Like, just be like, hey, I'm just handing out coupons. How many employees do you have here? And then hand out coupons, give them however many, and there you go. So it's a really easy, like, low stress way to get your blitzing done. But anyway.
So I have on that, you said just to walk in. So I did that. Erin's asking me what's a blitz. A blitz is basically approaching someone and just saying, hey, so I would talk to someone, whether it's a waitress or a cashier, and be like having a conversation with them. And just, throughout my visit, having a conversation with them and being like, I just loved how upbeat you were. You were one of the best waitresses I've ever had. Are you on Facebook? Can I add you on Facebook? Because I'm always doing drawings for free product for my business on Facebook, and I would love to have you in there. And let me give you my card as well. That's a blitz, but I always add them on Facebook. And because of our host to post drawings and stuff, it's perfect to be able to say, oh my gosh, right now we're doing a drawing for $300 in free product. Wouldn't that be so fun to have you entered? Let me get you on Facebook, and you just write their name in, and then you can give them a blitz card. But so because I used to do insurance, I walked into my old insurance office, and it's like, there's like 6 girls at the front. And I had a planned Wednesday wrap party at my house, and I walked in for insurance help, no, for reals. And then I was like, you guys, how many of you guys want some free samples, want to try some free product? I'm giving away free product for anyone who comes and brings a guest. Let me give you my business card. So I handed out my blitz. And then I'm like, hey, what are you doing on Wednesday night? Come over to my house. And I had 3 girls show up to my house to do a demo, and then one turned into a distributor. And so it's talking to people, but it's people that we don't run into on Facebook. It's just expanding our market. And that's what Laura is saying, is like, it's so like, it's exciting. Like, it becomes so exciting to talk to these people face to face and transfer that excitement to them face to face. And it's like, it's old school, but it's so awesome, you know?
It's not you, like, it's not you getting like told no and stuff like that, because they're coming to you. And so the other thing I was gonna say is like, well, I'll let you finish asking me questions. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm out of questions unless anyone else has any questions they want to ask.
Yeah, if y'all want to put questions in the chat, but I was going to say just a little bit about like, so when we did the car event, it was a very slow event. It was freezing, you guys. It was probably like 40 or 50 degrees. And like someone's tent blew away. I got there and I forgot my table. So I had to go find a Walmart and it was in another city. And so I had to go find like a way to get a table or whatever. It's really dumb. Anyway, and like, so people's like tents were blowing away, and it was just like a really crazy event. And there, I wouldn't say that there was like a ton of people coming to our booth, right? But that's the thing, is it's not, you know, we stayed there or whatever, and people were like, we had some people, but when I looked at those lead cards, and I was thinking, oh man, we didn't really get that much. Like, someone bought a keto coffee packet. That's really cool. And we had some people fill out forms. But I really thought I was like eyeing it as they filled it out, but I guess I wasn't, because when I got home and I looked at these forms, on these forms, I had someone that wanted a party and someone that wanted to wrap or whatever. And so like, even though I was out there for a while, if I do a party from this event, like I was out there for a few hours, if I get a party for like, and there's multiple people at this party and I do that party, or I like work to like get that going, do you know what I mean? Then that can lead to something really big. And that's just the way that events are. So don't go into an event expecting to sign people right on the spot. Go into an event looking to get lead cards. That is the point, is that you want as many of these filled out as you possibly can. So whatever your giveaway is, like, even if it is just a wrap, like really hype up the wrap, like hype up whatever your giveaway is so that you can get these lead cards. Also, if at the bridal expo, she had ordered a bunch of defining gel samples thinking that she could sell them. And obviously, like, we can't sell defining gel samples. And I was like, why don't you say that anyone that books a party on the spot, like, you'll give them a defining gel sample? Because now she has to get rid of it, right?
Call me if she starts crying or something.
So it is, that's what's like really great about it, is you can like figure out what you want to do. But the main thing that you're going for is you're going for like parties and getting people's information and stuff like that. I sell keto coffee. It was $4 for the packet. Yeah, I don't sell greens or anything like that. Like, I just sample greens because we can't sell the individual things. But I sold the keto coffee packets and some of that stuff. Like, you'll learn what works in an event. We totally bombed with the coffee. It was freezing. Like, the water was getting cold. Like, we were not super prepared for that. I am not a camper. I don't like camping. And so when I got there, one of my girls was like, yeah, they sell these things and you don't need electric, because we didn't have electricity. You don't need electricity and you can like heat up water. And I was like, oh, didn't know that. So as you do them, you get better at them. So don't do one and be like, that was a bomb. Like, that was like, people were passing my table, this, that, and the other. Like, you learn what works. You learn to get out there with your Blitz cards, not to sit down behind your booth, to stand up and say, do you want a coupon? Do you want a coupon? And you learn, like, it evolves and you get better and better at it. So don't like do one and be disappointed about the turnout or anything like that, because every event is completely different.
So really fast, I've done several events where there's been 0 customers were like, what? But I talked to all the other vendors and I get there, like we start talking and I start to get to know them. I'm like, hey, let's exchange info. Let me get you on Facebook. Like we exchange info. And so that's been very successful as well, because I've gotten a lot of people as customers from doing that. Let's see. I'm just reading through all the questions. Yeah, don't give everything for free, Catherine. So I had never done a keto coffee bar until we did our One Team, One Mission last week. And so you can use, whether it be a thermos of hot water or a Keurig, or you can use one of those hot water carafes, dispensers like you'd get at a hotel, and it just keeps it super hot. And I was able to make up all these little mini samples of keto coffee, and that was a huge success. We had shake and keto coffee, and no one would touch the shake. Everyone wanted the keto coffee samples. It was just so funny. But yeah, ask questions, and search on Facebook for vendor events. Or when you throw it out there and ask for your audience, hey, does anyone out there have connection with vendor events? You're going to find someone that reaches back out and say, oh, I know of someone, or I have one, or I go to this one, and just start finding them. Because I did one at a bowling alley, and it was probably not the smartest idea. It was $25, but I also got a lot of friends from the other vendors and connections that way. But you learn.
Yeah, and so I look on Craigslist a lot too. So if you go to Craigslist and you search vendor and then click on community or events, like it'll pop up community or vendor in whatever, vendor in, and you can click on community or events, and a bunch will pop up. And so you can ask them, always ask first, like, do you have another It Works person? Because you don't want to show up, because some of them don't care and they will have, a bunch of people there. So you want to ask first. But that's how I find a lot of local events, or search on Facebook for groups. So there's a lot of Texas vendor events, like search on groups for that, and they post a ton of vendor events in those groups. And then the other thing I was going to say, okay, so if any of you have kids who are like, I did this with Jude when he was maybe like 7. I didn't have anybody going with me. And so I was like, okay, like my 7-year-old's cool. Like, I don't know. He's like by 7, they've chilled out a little bit enough to be able to, like, he's my buddy, And so I brought him with me, and I ended up, this was like at the end of last year, I think. It was Christmas time. And I ended up buying Green's Chews. And this is a little bit more advanced, right? Because Green's Chews have like not the best BB. And I bought Green's on the go. And so if you can swing it, buy those things. And I bought those and I put them in a dish, 2 dishes, and again from Target. And I brought him with me. And what happened is kids would come up because they would see the Chews and the Greens on the go. And they would be like, oh, what is this? And I would never let them like have one on their own. But what would happen is their parents are following them, right? And then Jude, who has been taking Greens since he was like 1.5, because he's been in this business as long as he's been alive, like I've been in it, would start to talk about how much he loves the Green's Chews and the Greens on the go. And I would be like, I would just like let him go. Because they taste like candy. Like, he loves them. He was like, yeah, it's so good. It tastes just like candy. Like, try it. You know what I mean? So, and then the parents would have to say yes. So if you can swing it, that's a really great thing to do, and a great way for your kids to see you, like working an event and stuff like that, and just to have your family with you.
Awesome. Is there any other questions, you guys, specifically for Lara, about whether it's a wrap party and a demo in your house, or online, or events? We're all it's normal to be nervous in the beginning. I am a wreck. I was always very insecure with those, but it is amazing. And like she was saying, to step out and just start talking to complete strangers, it became easier for me to just talk to strangers than it was, and this was in the beginning, than it was to be able to talk to people that I knew or on Facebook. Like it became so much easier. Laura, do you want to talk to them about how to get people to a house party?
Yeah. So that a lot of that is going to come from building locally. If you want, to do that, then you need to be, when you're working social media, you need to be working like your local market, right? So a lot of times when we work social media, we are working anywhere we possibly can. But you really want to start, if your intention is to do local things and local events and local parties, you want your Facebook and your Instagram to be local. And so that's step one, is making sure that you're building that intentionally. And then as you are talking to people, you can just have that date set. So like, let's say you do a wrap party every Wednesday evening at your house or something. Then as you're blitzing and as you're talking to people, you're just telling them, hey, I have this thing. I do it at my house every Wednesday, or wherever you want to do it. And if you show up, there's my dog with one of my, where does he keep getting these from? This is one of my fall table decorations that I just put on the table. Looks really cute. So it's just about mentioning it all the time. And here's the thing. A lot of times when we're talking to people on social media, we talk about hair, skin, and nails, or any other products, keto coffee and stuff like that. But when you're talking to people about the wrap and they ask for pricing, you have so many more options available to you if you're building locally and if you're talking about the wrap. And so it really opened my eyes again, being there and talking to people about the wrap, because if someone writes me and they're interested in the body wraps, then I can say, you can get one for $25, you can get 4 for $59 as a loyal customer, or you can get wrapped for free. And so then they're like, how do I get one for free? And you're like, host a party, or whatever you want to say, sip and sample, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you want to say, like, it's another option for you to be able to book parties, right? And the other thing is when you're talking to local potential distributors, it allows you to be like, hey, why don't you just set up a party? Like, they're scared about being a distributor, right? Why don't you set up a party? I'll come, I'll do my thing, and you can see what it's like, and then you can sign up then. You know what I mean? Or you can see if any of your friends are interested, and that gets you a party. And so even if they don't sign up, like, you just had a wrap party. So you've got to start like thinking more just locally, like just get involved locally in doing stuff.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
So I have never held a party here. I've been here almost a year. I've done a lot of online parties. I have never actually said, okay, guys, I'm doing a party, come to my house. I've had a lot of one-on-ones that they've come. I've had them sit down. I've talked to them one-on-one about it, but never a full-on party, invite a friend. I'm going to have like, veggies, whatever. But that has been my goal, is I'm going to start doing parties here. Parties, fit parties, throwing a fit, sip and sample, demos, whatever you want to call it. But all it is me saying to a couple of friends, for instance, one girl, her name is May. May, guess what? I want to tell you all about my awesome stuff. I know that you've asked a couple of questions. Will you be willing to come to my house? I'm doing a party. I'm doing a demo at my house. It'll take like 45 minutes. You can even bring your mom or your sisters, and we'll just hang out. I'll have some yummy treats, and then I'm going to be doing a product giveaway at the end. Like, maybe it's just some keto coffee samples in a cute dollar store mug, whatever it might be. You don't even have to give away anything, but you can just say, look, I just started this business. I need some practice. Will you be willing to come over to my house, invite a couple of people? I'm just going to share about some awesome favorite products that we have. Will you give me some feedback? And we'll enjoy just hanging out. We'll do a girls' night, whatever. Until you start getting a few other friends to be like, okay, I have some awesome stuff. I know you've been wanting to try the wrap. Like, I have a girl, okay, her name's Emily. I know you've been wanting to try the wrap. Let's just do a party. Let's just do a little demo. It'll be super fun. Invite a couple of friends and I'll wrap you for free, like Laura said. I just need to do it, you guys. I just haven't. I've been relying on Facebook and on my lives, on my online parties that I haven't done it in person, and I really want to get back to it. Like, I think it'll be so much fun.
That's awesome, Catherine. Yeah, I mean, it's a little scary to like have a table set up and you're standing there and you're like, hi, like someone come to my table. Yesterday we were next to, or yesterday at the car show, we were next to, shoot, now I cannot think, it's some workout something, like it was a, like not Orange Theory, but similar to that. And yeah, it's a little nerve wracking. Like I remember being like, girls, okay, MCT oil, like, because I just knew this personal trainer was going to totally be like, oh yeah, I'm keto coffee. He never did. It was all in my head, but like, I wanted to be prepared, right, to answer that. So I just, you know, yeah, you're putting yourself out there, but I guarantee you that not everyone is on social media. And so there are people who don't use it, who aren't looking at it a whole lot, and who come to events and stuff like that, you know, and they're interested. And the coffee is a great way to get people in. I did notice that us offering up coffee samples and stuff like that, that people are just, they love coffee. Like people love coffee and they're like, coffee? And so it definitely was a lot easier to talk to people. I wish that our coffee had stayed hot, instead of being kind of lukewarm cold, which is disgusting, but it helped a lot. So if you can swing that, then try it. But yeah.
Awesome. Is there any other questions? I know we probably should wrap this up. You guys, this has been awesome. Does anyone have any questions? Or what was one takeaway you can put in the chat? Tanya says, is it okay to do a post to friends locally? I'm going to have a wrap party at my house. Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, do a post locally for sure. And that's duh. I mean, use social media to invite people to your wrap party and see who wants to come. Say, hey, I'm doing a sip and sample at my house and giving away a wrap, or doing a drawing for free product, who wants to come? And then when they're like, me, and then they don't show, you message them saying, sorry, you weren't able to come. I can do one for you on your own and you'll still get a wrap for free. And all of a sudden that becomes like all these separate parties instead of you just doing one at your house. Yeah, you don't have to do a wrap for free. This is your business. You can do it for free or not, but definitely get that wrap cash. You can, because you're talking about committing to a 12-week challenge, you could say, I'm doing a 12-week challenge. I'm including recipes and exercise workouts, and you'll even get my 40% off. You know, something like that. Any other questions for Laura? Anyone? Okay, Laura, thank you. Everyone else, stick around for a second. Okay, Laura, thank you for your time.
No problem. Bye.
Bye. Okay, you guys, I wanted to just wrap it up, and I wanted to ask Shelby, so sorry earlier, I wanted to ask you, I want you to shout out your team or shout out something that's going well, something that you've noticed. You know, is there anything on your heart and mind that you wanted to just like say?
Today has been actually really good because I let myself get in a funk with like my interaction was down, and I was like, oh my God, nobody cares about my post anymore. I like drained everybody last month. And that's not the case. It's just the fact that social media is complicated sometimes, and you have to keep going even when you feel like you're not getting anything, because one girl messaged me and she was like, I love the consistency of your posts and your funny memes on Instagram. And I just really love your feed. And that's it. And I was like, oh my God, people do see my stuff. So it was like a light bulb moment. Like they still see, even if I'm down only 100 likes instead of 300 likes, they're still seeing it. So then I also got to talking to some of the girls in our Going Triple group. And Host a Post is a serious game changer. And I have slacked all week, guys. For one straight week, I have not been sending out my Host a Post messages. Ask me how many people I signed in the last week. None, because I haven't been doing anything. So I got my 50 messages out today. I was like, I'm not doing anything until those 50 messages are sent. Got them sent. I have one girl who seriously has like 15 comments on Instagram. So I'm talking to her about becoming a distributor. If you guys ever feel like your posts aren't getting seen or you're not signing people, you really have to check yourself and what are you actually doing? What are you doing to get customers? What are you doing to get distributors? If you're falling into a funk, your business is going to fall into a funk. So it was super, super motivating just to get that one message like, hey, I love your post. Like, people are still watching. So that's been super good. And just talking to these girls about what Host a Post has done for their team. We have someone that's probably going triple this month. She was like 16 distributors away and 10,000 in volume. Now she's one distributor away, 6,000 in volume. So it's possible if you put your mind to it. It's so possible. And Host a Post is an amazing avenue for not just customers, but distributors. Like the girl that got 15 comments. I was like, girl, you are incredible. Do you see all these people that are interested? Have you ever thought of earning an extra income from home? And she's like, yeah, I tried Monet and I bombed at it, but I am so impressed by all these people on my It Works thing. And I'm like, yes, girl, It Works is the way to go. It's a great avenue for that. It's a great avenue for interaction because when I'm going to their page and I'm sending them my Host a Post message, I go and I like and I comment on something as well. So I'm interacting, getting in their feed so they get in my feed, and I'm getting in their inbox. So I would just set a number for, also it's great for adding friends too, because every single person that likes or comments on their post that they post for me, I add. So, and when somebody else gave me this tip a week or two ago, when you get a new friends request and it comes up in your notifications like so-and-so added or accepted your request, immediately go to their page and add 3 of their friends. And it builds my friends have been going up so quickly because of that. So Host a Post really is a great avenue for your business all around, like in every aspect. So if you're not doing it, I highly, highly suggest it. I just rambled, I feel like, but Host a Post is a miracle worker.
I loved it. I liked everything that you said about that. So your very first comment was you were kind of bummed about your likes or your views. And that's something that I also heard this week was, because you said check yourself. And that's the thing is, are we focused about how much attention we're getting, or are we giving more attention? And if we're giving more attention to our followers and making sure, like I love Shelby's tips, that not only are you saying, sweet, I got a new friend, like I sent out a friend request and I got it, sweet. No, but she's taking it a step further and saying, now I'm going to go check you out. I'm going to go like, and I'm going to go comment. And like, it doesn't just stop with me. Oh, I got something, give it back. And I love that, because that's what this business is about, is giving it back and not only thinking about what you're getting. And Stephanie's nodding her head, Shelby's nodding her head, Tanya, like that's when we stop. And when we stop thinking about others, that's when we're halting our business. And it might work for a minute, but the more that we think about others and engage and are showing that engagement, it continues to work. And that's why I sometimes say, I don't care how much my business post interaction get. I don't. I care about how much I'm interacting behind the scenes, and I care about, I look at what they love about my personal post. If I see that they're loving on that, I love them back even more. And I'm keeping track of those people, because I don't I don't care about the business post. That's not what this is about. So thank you for checking us all. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And she shared that this girl went from 16 to 1.
Yes.
16 to 1. Like anything can happen. And you guys are all killing it. I see all of you guys on here, like showing up and working hard. And it's like, I want to just sit here and shout everybody out. And I don't want to leave anyone out because my brain always forgets some people. But like, I'm really proud of this team. And I know that Shelby is really teaching her team to be training one-on-one and connecting with you guys. Like, you matter too. It's not just Shelby and her whole team, or Brianna and her whole team. They care about you and your success. And it trickles down. Like, I see it through Stephanie. And I'm watching Catherine having these little combos with her distributor who was on, you know, and I'm like really proud, because that's what this is about. It's not about a dollar amount. It's about connections. And we just wanted to give you guys an extra way to connect with people, because there's lots of different ways to do this business. And if you need extra help, message us and we'll give you lots of ideas. Any other questions? Because it is basically time to close. I don't want to cut you guys short.